Hey, YouTube. Wanted to make this video and make this channel really to kind of air some of my grievances, get some thoughts off my chest. And I also hope to better myself at talking and putting my thoughts together coherently. My brain is low-key kind of fried from brain rot, stress, and other Gen Z activities. Yeah, I just want to talk about Gen Z is absolutely cooked. I mean, it's over. I mean, it just started and it's over. Talking from housing prices to quality of life to dating to the state of society in general. We are just absolutely cooked. We'll start off with a big one, pretty obvious one that's been touched on a lot in a lot of other videos. It's kind of been beaten to death, but that's housing prices. I mean, I'll just give you an example where I live, rent. I mean, a one bedroom, it's about 1,800, 2 grand a month, in a regular part of town. Now, if you want to split rent with, multiple other people and live in a house or a big apartment, that's still gonna run you easy $1,000 a month before utilities. And most jobs are paying 20 to 25 an hour. It's just not enough. If the math just doesn't work out, you're taking home 2,000 to 3,000 a month and half of it's going to rent. It's just cooked. It's absolutely cooked. I mean, forget about even owning a house around here. That's in most parts of the country, that's an easy 3,000 a month. That doesn't even include insurance, utilities, insurance, sorry, private mortgage insurance, how the heck are you even gonna save up a 20% down payment? It's impossible. Um, Taxes, man, they go, that goes up every year. You just barely have enough left over for food at the end of the month, and there's a lot of people who don't even have that. So, those of us who are fortunate enough are able to afford some kind of distraction, you know, TV or video games usually for us young guys. It can be really disheartening too to see your older relatives, your boomer relatives buying their second, third house even, all while gaslighting you, saying that, you should be working harder, or when I was your age, I had, a house and 3 kids. Well, you can't even afford that nowadays, man. It's just impossible. Our wages are gonna have to like triple or quadruple to give us the same standard of living that boomers had back in the day. And that those golden days are gone. And we're living in the shadows here. We're getting the scraps of those golden days. We're just like wild dogs, Eat your dinner and throw out the scraps to those wild dogs out back. Just enough to keep us alive and scraping along. Another thing they want to gaslight us about is relationships and getting married and having kids. It's like, back in the day, there was 100 people in your town, your high school class, and it's 50 men, 50 women. That's it. They all end up together. There's no there's no dating apps where you could, anyone could see someone from across the country basically, and women really have their pick of really have their pick. You got to be the cream of the crop, just to get a chance, essentially. And they have 100 guys in their DMs. Well, I can't blame them. They're gonna pick the top one. They're gonna pick the top five and leave everyone else to rot, basically. And there's always other options too, with like I said, with dating apps and social media, they're always looking around, looking for someone who's richer, better, someone who can do more for them. And that's the truth. You're always going to be compared to someone else. That's just the truth. And um, boomers don't want to admit it, but they wouldn't last a fucking day. They would not last in this modern dating game. They all like to pretend that they had game back in the day, but the reality is their wife just didn't have a better option. There were just no options back then. There was no comparison. And speaking of that, it's kind of leads me into my next kind of rant here is society nowadays is it's like a grifter society. It's grifter culture that really really bothers me. Everything is a grift. Every business is trying to squeeze every last dime out of you. And it's the same with relationships, and not just romantic partners, but everyone. It's people only want to be your friend or your associate or colleague even if you can provide something for them, if they can get something of value from you. And people are sizing you up from the minute they meet you, trying to see what they can take from you. And if you aren't naive enough to just give them something, they, I mean, a lot of people are plotting, scheming to, try to finesse you out of what you have, try to finesse you out of something because every single relationship nowadays is just completely transactional. What can you give me? And, you know, maybe I'll give you something back, but probably not. I just kind of wanted to get on here and ramble and rant. It's extremely hard, I think, for a lot of young men like myself to find friends too. Everything has strings attached, You can't just, seems like it's difficult to hang out with someone, with no ulterior motive. Just guess what I'm trying to say is what happened to just being with someone just because you like the same things they do, because you share some interest. Everything has some kind of goal at the end. It's what it feels like, at least. So you got real friends, cherish them for real. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share a few reasons why I think that young people are giving up, especially young men. Why I feel like giving up damn near every day now. Let me know if you kind of share these experiences or share these opinions. Let me know if I'm completely wrong, if I'm just a complete doomer. Yeah, thanks. Clocking out.